Hi, my name's Kaz from www.breakawayspirit.com. Our mission is to inspire and empower people to break away from the limiting beliefs that hold them back in life and to open their minds to new opportunities for happiness and success. We encourage our subscribers to live by the values of honour, courage, passion, purpose and charity, as these values are the perfect foundation for success in all areas of your life. So often we have dreams of a happy, successful lifestyle, but something holds us back from making that dream a reality. There are many people throughout the world who have overcome their self-doubt, followed their hearts and created the lifestyle of their dreams. Knowing that it can sometimes be hard for you to find these people, we've brought them to you. So today I'd like to introduce you to Rosalind Baker. Rosalind is the principal of Entre, Nous introduction service. Rosalind has been running this extremely successful business for over 20 years and has a wealth of knowledge gained from her journey to happiness, fulfillment and success. Rosalind's kindly put her hand up to share her story of following her dream to success in the hope that she'll inspire you to do the same. Welcome, Rosalind.
Thank you.
Thanks for taking time out of your day to share your story with us today.
Oh, it's my pleasure. I'm very interested in what you're doing. It's wonderful.
Lovely, thank you. Can you give us a little bit of background about your business?
Yes, I certainly can. I wrote a couple of books on courtship about 25 years ago, and in each of them they were called Dial a Man and Dial a Woman. You can guess what they're about, and how to find the correct woman for you and how to find the correct man for you. Mm-hmm. And I put a synopsis of the personality types as I know them, the 7 male personality types and the 7 female in each book. And I got a lot of publicity for both books. They're both bestsellers, and full page spread in the Herald Sun on a Sunday and things like that. And the press seemed to pick up on the personality types more than anything in the book. So I thought that'll be my next book, Dial a Personality, and it's about the 7 female personality types within each woman. And I'd almost finished the book, and I was thinking, what can I do next? I've always been a matchmaker, and my friends have been telling me for years that I should start an introduction agency, but I'd always been a bit reluctant, and I'll explain those emotional hurdles in a minute. I sat down with the book. I put a synopsis of the male types in the back of the book and sat down to see if I could work out who's attracted to who of the female types and the male types. And I knew it all, and I knew why. And I didn't know I knew all this until I started, thinking about it. And I thought, this is my formula for matching people. So that's why I started Entre, Nous.
Excellent. And I think it's knowing those profiles is very important to creating a lasting relationship.
Yes, it is. We've got a 1% divorce rate.
That's excellent.
It is, isn't it? It's amazing, because I think the divorce rate's up to 48% now.
Well, I'm sure we could send a lot of people your way.
Thank you.
Okay, so when you first came up with this idea, were there any emotional hurdles that you had to overcome?
Well, I've always thought there was a stigma about an introduction agency, and I wasn't keen. But once I had a formula, I thought, well, I think I'll go with it. And I rang a few friends, and they all said, Rosalind, we've been telling you that for years. You should be starting an introduction agency. So away I went. But then my father said, don't like the sound of this. And then when I was up in Queensland next time, my cousin said, oh, so-and-so knows you. And so-and-so was a very well-known solicitor. And my cousin in Brisbane is a judge these days, but he was a solicitor then. And he said, is he on your books? And I said, no, I don't know. I can't talk about things like that. And he said, because if you match him up, it'll be the greatest coup ever. And anyway, this particular fellow, I did match up, and he's happily married with 2 children, a boy and a girl. And when he was getting married, my cousin rang me and said, well, that's bigger than parting the Red Sea. So after that, the family didn't complain about it anymore. There were no objections. Once I'd been successful in matching someone, and I had the right sort of clients, they thought. And I haven't heard anything from my family ever since, except, I've got a friend coming to Melbourne. Do you think you can match them up?
Okay, so what did you need to change within yourself to work through any emotional hurdles perhaps that you may have had? I guess what character traits or beliefs do you think you had to take on to get your business up and running?
Well, I had them already. Enthusiasm and courage and persistence, and I'm very positive, and I never worry about what will happen if it doesn't work. I never think about something like that. One thing I did have to learn, though, was to keep my mouth shut. I was a very chatty person. I wasn't really a gossiper because I was too busy to gossip, but, a little bit. I had to learn to keep my mouth shut. And I've become a much quieter person since I started Entre, because it's a very confidential business and you just can't afford to put a finger wrong as far as protecting your clients. And the staff are all trained that if they wanted to tell me about a person in front of clients, they'd just give me a piece of paper with the name on, or they'd tell me the first name and hope I would guess.
Excellent. And that stands you apart from others as well, your
Yes.
professionalism.
Yes, and I had to learn to lower my voice too, because you must be very careful not to be heard in the next room when you're discussing someone's very private business.
Okay, what are some of the common problems that you found while setting up the business, perhaps technical or logistical or...
Well, the biggest problem was getting something that worked in the way of a database on the computer, because in 1991 there wasn't much around. 1993, Microsoft brought out Access, and that was my first database. I've been using it since 1993. Started it myself, but realised that I didn't have the knowledge to be able to make it as in-depth as I wanted. So I employed a fellow, and he was excellent in setting up so that I could match, and I could have two people up on the screen. And then perhaps I'd be matching a woman, so I'd have her on the screen, and I'd flick through other men, and their photos would come up beside her, and I could compare their hobbies, their personality type, their looks, because looks are important when you're matching people. If they have similar features, they're more likely to be attracted to each other. It went from there, and then I've had the same IT person for about 12 years now, and sometimes he works all week, but mainly it's either 1 or 2 days, just making minor changes that I want, or every now and again I get some fantastic idea of something I want. I have 2 screens in my office, and I can run a search and find some profiles to show a client, and then I'll just drag it across onto the other screen so that it's more convenient for them to look at. Lots of exciting things like that we really enjoy.
So technology's really been very helpful for you.
Wonderful.
Wonderful.
Every time I think of something that will save a step, I get my IT fellow to do it. And we take their photos from the screen. They automatically go straight on their file, and we use a digital signature box. I try to run a paperless office, so I show them the hard copy of our terms in our contract, what you call the fine print,
Right.
which laminated, and I hand that to the client to read in 14 points so that it's not fine print before I set up the contract, and then I show them the rest of the contract, and they can read on screen, and then they sign a signature box, and then I email it to them.
Much easier.
Everything is emailed, and all our profiles, if we send her his profile and him her profile, they're sent out automatically at the same time by email.
Excellent.
Everything's done. And to leave feedback back, they go onto the website.
Great. So you're saving the environment as well.
Oh, absolutely. Yes, I've always been very conscious of that.
Lovely.
Yeah.
Now, can you give me an example of how living with honour has helped you attain the results you have so far? So if we're talking honour being personal integrity and staying true to your own beliefs and values.
Well, I think one of the things is not to take on people that you really don't believe you can help, and yet I want to help everyone that walks in the door. That's my goal, is to help everyone that walks in the door. So if we can't help them, we say so, and we either put them onto someone who can, or recommend some books to read, etc. But the thing that I would really say is the most honourable we do with our clients is we're very honest about whether we can help them, and then we do our utmost to help them. not only find a partner, but teach them a new way of courting. And by making this paradigm shift in the way they do things, it makes all the difference. And I feel that that's my life's work, is not only to find a partner, but teach them a new way of doing it that works.
Yes.
So, and many of our clients form a relationship with an outsider. Once they've been through the training session we give them and they're comfortable meeting people, so many ring up and say, oh, I've met someone outside. I haven't been out with a fella for years until I came to Entre, and now they're coming out of the woodwork. And all we've done is actually give them confidence.
Yes, you've unlocked their inner confidence.
Yes, that's right. And also we have quite a bit of help here as well. You know, we've got someone who can help them with weight loss. We've got a couple of personal trainers. We've got someone who can help them develop their confidence if they have a few problems in business with their work. We've got a business coach and a makeup artist who will give them a makeover. We've got a lot of free things to start them off. A free golf lesson, you know, a couple of free personal training sessions, a free dance lesson, free makeover. Oh, we've even got a decorator. Come into their home and spend an hour with them, giving them some ideas about making their home look more interesting. And that's fantastic for young men. Such a difference. Probably the best one of the lot is the wardrobe consultant. Now, she will take people shopping on any budget and teach them how to look their best for their body shape. And she says, you know, it's amazing the confidence they get of doing this. And as I think it was George Clooney who said, there's nothing sexier than a confident woman when you feel good because you know you look good.
Absolutely. I think we should all have one of those.
Yeah. And she gets some great discounts too.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
So really, you're taking a holistic approach to help these people.
That's right.
Lovely.
That's right.
So do you recognise that it's taken courage for you to reach this point in your life?
Oh, yes, it has taken courage, yes.
And what do you think would have happened if you hadn't acted with courage? Where do you think you'd be now?
Oh, if I listened to that other little voice, I probably would have never gone anywhere.
Now, you've already answered my next question, which was with regard to what your purpose in life is. And I truly believe you've proven here with 23 years that this is certainly your purpose. So we'll go to the next question, which is, what is your definition of charity?
My definition of charity is to help those that can't help themselves, and where I've seen a need. And, you know, I've done things in Melbourne, etc., but my daughter-in-law is Thai, and she comes from way up in North Thailand, an hour's drive north of Chiang Rai. Now, up there it's a rice-growing village, and the hospital was meant to be for 3 villages of 15,000 people, but instead, when they built the hospital, they didn't take into account the other 45,000 people who are the hill tribe people, refugees who've been living in the hills for 2 or 3 generations. They don't have a passport, they don't have any ID, and they're hiding, and they can't afford medical fees. So the hospital is not supposed to give them any treatment unless they have ID. Now, the medical director said, I can't refuse them. So that little hospital is not a surgery hospital, and if anyone has a baby who's prem, they can go in the rickety old ambulance that's not very well stocked, equipped to Chiang Rai, but will they make it?
Yes.
They usually lie them out. So I has paid for beds, and when they're short of beds, a woman who's expecting a baby sleeps on a stretcher that is about a metre high. Imagine how rickety that would be. And so he bought them beds. She said, I can afford cement for another ward, but could you please supply some beds? And she was so thrilled with it. So we do try very hard to raise funds. They desperately need an incubator, and they also need a baby warmer for jaundice babies.
Right. Do they have a website or anywhere that listeners could go to?
No, they don't. But I can send you information.
Absolutely. If you could do that, and I'll post it on my website.
They desperately need a defibrillator, and it would just make such a difference if they could save lives. My daughter-in-law told me that when her 2-year-old sister was very ill, the father, he didn't have a car, or walked the baby Rye, but she died on the way,
That's
50 k's
terrible.
away. And he took the boy in. The boy got a nasty bang on the head, and he took him in and they fixed him up. But he walked all the way, 50 k's, nursing his child.
That's
Isn't that
beautiful.
amazing?
Yes,
They're
definitely.
amazing stories, yes.
Definitely.
Now also, there's not only the hospital. First of all, my son got married there and the church, and I met the vicar, and he showed me, the church was in his home, and he showed me a picture of a church he'd like. So I supported the church until we were able to buy the land next door and actually build a church. That sounds very impressive, but there's 30 or 34 baht to the dollar, so everything's a lot cheaper up there. And the people did the work. It was just supplying the cement, actually, the materials they needed to build a church. But that's not all. He took me to see an orphan school, 26 pupils.
Yes.
And he said that these children are so poor that World Vision set up the school, and now the government run it, but they were too poor to go to school. Their parents couldn't afford books, uniform, anything like lunches, and they're actually, a lot of them are orphans, or they've got one parent, or they live with a grandmother who can't work, or their parent has HIV, probably mainly due to HIV, this orphan school. They're lovely children, and I asked them, how could we help? They wanted a vegetable garden and a fish farm and a mushroom farm so that they could show the children how to farm and feed the children lunch. And they have cooking classes. The children are all taught how to cook, to make lunch. And the last thing I bought them, an electronic whiteboard with a projector. And it means that they can have many more variety of lessons that come from Bangkok that they don't have the facilities to teach otherwise. We also provided a special room for that whiteboard and a covered playground, and now they want to turn that covered playground into an infant's room, so we need to do another covered playground. And we raise money each year for this. And when I asked them last time, is there anything else you want? I'd like something more educational. They said, yes, absolutely. A poultry farm. And I didn't really think that was educational, but I suppose when you live up in the rice growing area, poultry farming is educational, isn't it?
Yes, a way of life.
Yes, it's their way of life, yes. That's what I call charity.
And that's beautiful, and you've certainly contributed a lot.
No, I haven't contributed a lot to charity. It's given me something.
Yes.
So much pleasure. It's such a thrill. And do you know, when I have people in here who are feeling a bit depressed, I say to them, go and do something for others. You'll feel so much better. You've got to just think of those little children and how thrilled they are with anything you can do for them. You forget about any of your own problems.
Yes, you do. Well, I would certainly be happy for you to send that information through to me, and I can pop that on my website.
Thank you.
Now, I've just visited your website and subscribed to your newsletter, and what really struck a chord with me was that I could really sense your values had a strong influence in the way that you take a holistic approach to finding a partner for your members.
Yes.
Do you think that being able to live true to your values within your career is the key to your longevity in this business?
Yes, absolutely.
Absolutely. And I guess that follows on with your passion as well. If you're passionate and you can live true to your value.
I'm passionate about my charity work, and I'm passionate about my clients. And we have a board that every couple who form a relationship, their names go up on the board, and we celebrate every couple. The staff love it. They all say it's the best job they've ever had.
Now, I also love your mission statement, and I think that can be utilised in all areas of life.
Yes.
One point being we all need to set realistic goals.
Absolutely.
Commit to their aims.
Yes.
Recognise our full potential, and learn new skills and hone our old ones. And I think that's excellent advice that we could use every day.
Thank you.
Now, there's a wealth of information on your website. If you can give me your website details.
www.entrepreneurs.com.au.
Excellent. Okay, so is there anything else you'd like listeners to know about your business?
Oh yes, we have an information pack. It's very large. It's very comprehensive, but it covers everything. So if anyone's don't know whether they are interested or not, but would like more information, if you go onto our website and click on the information pack. That can certainly fill you in.
Lovely. Okay, well, that is great. Thank you so much, Rosalind, for taking the time out of your busy schedule to share your story with us. And we look forward to hearing more about Rosalind Baker and Entre Nous introductions in the future.
Thank you.
Thanks, Rosalind.
Goodbye.
It's always inspiring to hear from people who've followed their hearts and are creating the lifestyle of their dreams. I hope that you've enjoyed this interview and will look further into the values of honour, courage, passion, purpose and charity to create a happy, fulfilled and successful future for yourself. If you know of anyone else who may benefit from this inspirational story, please make sure you share this link on your social media pages or websites. Please support our interviewees by taking the time to check out their websites and products. It's a great way to say thank you for sharing their story. Make sure you subscribe to www.breakawayspirit.com so that we can notify you of upcoming interviews and articles to empower you to allow your breakaway spirit to shine. So until next time, sending confidence and courage your way. Bye.